Right, so we're back in 3D Builder again. And, well, my current thought is that uh, I'm gonna keep the diameter of this one, the outer one, of the holes, since it's not a completely it's not a complete hole. It's only like half, and it worked fine with the current diameter. But the other ones, maybe I can just make them a tiny bit wider, the holes. I'm actually gonna take this cylinder and bring it into my other scene in 3D Builder where I only have this holder uh, plate, and where I have saved it in STL, because when I saved it in STL it didn't complain about the model being off the build surface. So let's do that. Right, so I have pasted the cylinder, and this file is the capsule holder base plate in STL format. So yes, currently this one is 47.5, but when measuring the hole we got, let's see if we can measure 47.49. But I believe we ended up with a smaller hole on the actual printout, or I was just not measuring correctly. So since with the calipers it was hard to find the exact diameter where to measure. So, but anyway, let's make it just a little bit wider, like 47.7, maybe 47.7. Right, and then let's try to. We'll get a blue rim all the way at least, so we did have some contact area intersecting these both. And then we grab this one and we move it into place here. It doesn't snap, so it's a bit. Well, it snapped there. Yeah, maybe, right? Let's subtract. And all. Yeah, no, we didn't get any contact here. So let's undo. Yeah. So now we got a blue rim all the way around, at least. So yeah, this should be plenty, I think. Let's go into the slicer software. So while importing the STL file now, I got errors has occurred to the model. You can repair or delete or ignore. I don't know why, but is it a 3D Builder that didn't really manage to save it in STL? I don't know, but okay, repair model. The model has been repaired. Okay. I'm not sure why, but we have like a red line going around the model's circumference. Um, but let's rotate this a bit. So I hope there's nothing too much wrong with this model after repairing, but let's try to slice it. And well, I read that I could increase the platform temperature to 65 to get better adhesion, and then but I don't know, of course, the warping, if it's too hot maybe it will cool down, and then too fast, and yeah, um, let's go for 215 on the PLA temperature. And then I read something about cooling fan control list. Start layer 1, end layer 1. So we could turn off cooling fan on the first layer. So I don't know, maybe we could have like 20% on the first layer, and then on the second layer we could have maybe 50%. And then we could have maybe third layer 75. I'm not just guessing. I read somewhere that not to cool down the first layer especially too much, so maybe something like this, and then it will be at 100%. Back fan status 50%. I don't know about the back fan, but default speed 100. Well, regarding the brim or raft, I also watched some video where they said that using a brim, let's say 3 mm for instance, but inside holes should be set to no if you're doing like screw hole type of holes, because for some reason that could lift your model off the platform or something like that. So let's go for no there. And once again, let's set this to 30%, like previously. Save as new, my profile. So maybe I can call this Dolce Gusto profile 1. PLA density. Oh, I don't know. Okay. Slice it. And preview. So in this case, what I'm first and foremost looking for is a brim here around the sharp edges here, or corners, so they don't lift. But inside of holes, maybe we don't need, especially inside of here. So it seems that you didn't place any either. So let's if we go to layer 1, we'll see how it will print. It will do the brim, hopefully, and then yeah, there we get the problematic hole, and there won't be any brims there. So yeah, let's see how that works out. Maybe it doesn't work, but mainly I'm looking for the brim um, around this edge and this or these corners, and then hopefully the hole will actually stick. Um, since we had problems with that as well in the first tries in printing this. Um, yeah, so let's send it to the printer and see what that looks like. Yeah, actually, uh, it's preparing to print, but I'm thinking that let's set the print speed first to 50% to make it slower, especially on the first layers. Um, so yeah, there's a camera inside of the printer as well, and from the side, and we can see the parameters here. So it's heating up, but let's head over to the printer and see what happens there. The print is finished, it seems. And it does look a lot better actually than the previous one. So, but we'll see once we get out of there. So let's allow it to cool down, and then we will inspect it a bit closer. So the beauty has cooled down, and we shall attempt to remove it from its bed. So we have a little bit of stringiness going on here. Let's see how this comes off now then. Can I get it out without removing the build plate? Oh yeah, it did come off. Right, so here we have them both. And well, I think this one looks a bit better than this one. This is definitely flatter than this one. But yeah, this will serve well as well, I think. Let's try to remove the brim. So the brim definitely did something. Right, so the brim will be chucked away. I have some debris still left here. I should vacuum clean this surface. We have a little bit of a residue left here from the brim, which I think we could use this tool. Yeah, I think so. So now the end pieces here, the sharp end pieces, actually came out pretty well, pretty nicely in comparison to the other ones. So that's a good result. I was a bit worried here on the first layer that it seemed like it didn't place too much filament in the first layer here. So, but it turned out okay. Now let's see if the hole diameter got any larger. I don't know. We can try it with the capsule that I got. So first of all, I didn't touch this outer one because it's not a complete circle here. So it's good that it's a bit tighter, and it holds it nicely. So yeah, and that seems to have worked out fine. Let's see if this one... Oh yeah, have a look at that. That's perfect, I think. Well, removing it, pressing from below, I suppose. It's a lot better than this was. Yeah, this one is much tighter. Maybe I can use... but it's still better. I used this tool so on it, and yeah, it turned out okay. But yeah, this is... let's try this one as well. First one. Ooh. I didn't think of that. Did I? No, I didn't. So it gets a little bit squished here, which isn't exactly what I wanted. And also there will be a bit of a problem here, I suppose, when you have two capsules. So maybe I should make this a bit flatter, or move it out a bit closer to the perimeter here. So yeah, this will definitely be a problem, I think, and here as well. So I didn't factor in that rim. So this part, 7.7 millimeters, 7.8. right, and this one was 40.9 or 15, yeah. So 7.7 or 7.8. Okay. So we can go back into the 3D model in 3D Builder and have a look at the base and see, make sure that this should fit inside, and the length of this. Can I somehow? It's about 30 millimeters or so. Okay, so let's head back into 3D Builder. But before we go there, actually let's measure. So I have zeroed this out. Let's measure this rim margin. So we got 3.2 millimeters. So I would need well, so 3.2 and 3.2, so 6.4 millimeters of clearance. And let's see if we can make it happen or not. Okay, so back in 3D Builder, I have pasted in the model that we just printed out with the larger holes and adjusted the size of this to 47.7 from 47.5. And this one, the blue one, is the old one. So and regarding the base here, if we measure let's see here. This is around 8. It should be 8 millimeters, I think. Yeah, and the height is 25, so I think that should be to the cone, and then with the cone itself, it's a bit more. So I think it should be okay. So yeah, we could print out the base plate with the feet and all. However, I do want to adjust this thing a bit. But I have an idea, and that is to not place them in a row. So not in a straight line. Well, this one, the outer one can be, but then I would sort of place one to the left and one a bit to the right, and maybe I can increase the distance between them. As long as I have 3.2 millimeters or so of clearance, uh, should be good. So I don't have too much more length, especially with the brim for the print and all that's needed. So Right. So while thinking of the capsule holder pieces, I'm thinking let's print the base instead for now, and well, to see if everything fits before I adjust the capsule holder bits. Um, so that should give us some insight, I think, into the um, wait a minute. Are these feet not touching the build plate, or well, we can see. So start slicing. I suppose my previous profile is still, yeah, brim 3 millimeters. However, inside holes, no. Nice. It doesn't complain, at least this time, that it isn't on the build plate. Slice preview. So let's check the first layer. Yeah, it seems to. So first we get the brim, and then the actual model is filled like this, and then the second layer, and then we get this pattern which grows smaller. So this looks promising. Um, let's send it to the printer and see what it looks like. Ooh, that was a nice save, I hope, of this thing. I don't know if something is clogged or something, but I always get like a pile. Right. So, it's finished. Build completed. I must say it does look pretty nice, but we'll have to inspect it a bit closer up to actually draw any conclusions. Now, some time has passed, so Okay, it's pretty hard to get out. I can see why. It has a large surface area, so I may have to yeah, there we go. I hope the build plate stayed in place. So I will clean this off with some new. Ooh, it sticks pretty nicely. I will clean the bed off with some rubbing alcohol to remove my. Right. So here it is. And the brim is pretty nice actually. But yeah, it did turn out pretty nice. There we have it. It's like a cat. I can feel that the plastic is much thinner here than it is over here. So I don't know why it. Oops! It dropped a thing. So, but okay, it fulfilled its purpose at least. Maybe I have something clogged or something. So the question is, will this fit? Ooh. Not quite, to be honest. I thought I made it narrower than. Let's check the other one. No, it's. But at least I should be able to push it in if I can sand this down a bit, of course. So, but that's good to know. That's why I wanted to print this before adjusting these somehow in 3D Builder, because yeah, we'll have to yeah, it's clearly possible, but to push it in, but I think I would have to. Oh. Oops. So I broke it. Right. Yeah, I got this one out of there at least. But okay. So that's of course this wouldn't be subjected to such forces in real life then. Luckily this was the sort of damaged one. The it can be glued back into place, of course. So, but yeah. Anyway, even if this would fit, but it doesn't. So I need to sand this down anyway, and have a much smaller or larger tolerance. So I have to make this smaller in the design, narrower, and 7.2, yeah. And this one is 7.7. Yeah, that won't work if. So yeah, I have some adjustments to do. So let's get to it. But the base is very nice. It's like a fox or something. Right, so let's get to it. Right, so as you can see, I have an addition here. I played around a bit off camera and, well, making it with three like this or like this would be too hard to make it all fit. We might pull it off. I mean, I can always, if I place this diagonally when I print it out, like I did, maybe I can fit a little bit longer than 15 centimeters because we have the we have like a triangle with 15 times 15, and then we have a diagonal line. Uh, but I'm seeing the printout of this. This with three pieces seemed a bit grotesque. Actually, so I basically just created in the same way, but a smaller one. So this one is just 106 and a half, and with this cut off or cut out, and then I would have at least. So I will have two capsules here, one there and one here, and I should have some space here. So let's measure. Yeah, I have like 6.8 or something, and then so the two capsule overhangs won't meet here, and then on this side I only need the half of it, so 3.2 millimeters, which I should have here. Yeah, 3.4 or something, if not a bit more. 3.8. So the sort of hat of this capsule will not interfere with that pin. So and that I think will be more fitting maybe to this base. Now that I printed it out and we have had a look, I saw that this one would feel a bit big maybe because first of all we saw that this pin didn't fit into that hole. Um, so if we zoom in a bit here and measure this hole. Yeah, 7.99 millimeters it says. 8 millimeters. Okay. But then if we move over to, let's bring that in here. Um, So let's see here. Can I ungroup? Uh, yeah. So if I turn it 180 degrees, maybe, and then we measure it. 7.98. But in fact, we didn't get quite that. So I think I would need to. I don't have this 9.8. I should have made it 7.8 millimeters, not 9.8 maybe, because I don't have that kind of resolution on my printer. So what's the best way to make it narrower? I could just, if I lift it up a bit. Um, let's insert. Let's take a cylinder and take another cylinder. So we can make this a bit narrower, like 20 by 20. Yes, and then we'll bring another cylinder in. I want to make a hole that I will fit on top of the red one. So I want that hole to be 7.8 millimeters in diameter. So if I make this actually like 10 by 10, and then I will make this first of all a bit longer, but then I make this 7.8, right, by 7.8, then like this, and then insert it into that one until it comes out. Right, and then I subtract. No, not like that. Like this. Now I have like a pipe, and I want to feed this into it, and hopefully um, I will narrow the red one down by subtracting. I did get a bit of a residue here for some reason. Oh, why is it? It's not seated exactly in the middle, maybe. Perhaps now is better. Subtract. It should be blue all over. around, and it is. So we have hopefully decreased the diameter. So let's measure it. .8. Right. So that's that. And let's paint that red again. And we just place it. We need at least 3 millimeters here, so 3.2 millimeters, yeah. So this is 3.23 millimeters. We could, of course, set it to 54. We should have a nice 3.5, yeah. So we'll have some space there. Then we have some space in the back. Does it look centered? Yeah, pretty much. So now if I just push it through and we make subtraction, and then we take this one and we delete it. Yeah, so now this hole should be fit for fight. And we can, of course, always measure it. Yeah, 15, because the outer shell is 15, and then we should get like 7.95 here, yeah, 98. So that looks better. That should work better, I hope. It will be like a 2-slot then, and 7.8 millimeters. So yeah. The build has completed. And once again, we shall allow it to cool down a bit, and then we will inspect it a bit further and see if, how this looks when we mount it on top of the base. So let's wait for that. Right. There we go. Let's have a closer look at the bench. Now, as you may see, I have a bit of a mess here. Sorry about that. But anyway, now that we have covered that, let's put the broken one aside, the cat face silhouette also aside, and oh yeah, first of all, before we look at the newly printed one, I did take some sandpaper and sand this down so it's pretty smooth, and now it actually can be fed in and out of that thing. But yeah, it looks a bit this is a bit too large for it maybe, and yeah, I wonder how much weight it can hold with its feet before getting into trouble. But right, so now it's possible to install and uninstall, and then you just add extra layers as high as you want to, basically. However, since this is a bit long, let's try this one now. Yeah. Nice Christmas tree ornaments or something. Anyway, a bit rough on the side here, still some residue left, but that's something we can easily take care of. And well, does it fit? I will attempt to cut off the very tip, and well, let's first measure. So this is zeroed out. Now if I measure this one, it's 7.8. This is the one that I didn't sand down from the broken one. 7.8. Alright. And then the one that I did sand down. 7.7. 7.6 if I push it a bit. Alright. Now, let's see what this is. The newly printed one. 7.6. Right. Or 7.7 if I release a bit. So it should enter this. Yeah. However, it hasn't been sanded, so it's not smooth. But yeah, you can rotate your capsules wherever you want, basically. And let's see if it can hold the capsule. So the end piece here. Oh yeah, it's easily removable as well. You can insert it this way by just pushing it like that, and it sticks there, so you just grab it. Or if you use this one, hang on, did I do the same mistake I did the first time? Isn't this 45.7 or what was it? Seems like it's not. Maybe. Okay, so, but that's not. I can make this hole larger in the 3D model pretty easily. But this one was great. Maybe I forgot to take the larger hole. I need to also fetch a second capsule. Anyway, so this hole, will this fit? So it's very strange, but this hole looks smaller than that hole. But right, allow me to use the tool. And let's try it now. Yeah, a lot better. It just pops up. So if this is there and I want to take a bit of hot chocolate, either I just pop it up, like that, or can I lift it? Yeah, that's good. So maybe, yeah, just a little bit larger hole, so you don't have to use the tool. But on the end piece here, it's fine. On the other hand, so maybe this hole can also be a bit widened. I can use some sandpaper to sand it down. Anyway, yeah, I like this. It's nice, and this did fit pretty well inside of this. So yeah, let's go fix the second one and make the hole just a tiny bit larger. But other than that, yeah, so yeah. So this is also an option. Of course. Or the other way around. But yeah, the one with the 3 holes is a bit much for this, I believe. So let's adjust the the 2-slot piece in 3D Builder and make this a little bit larger. And yeah, oh, and also we need an end cap maybe. So when you're satisfied with your height, so that there isn't a hole on the end, maybe we should have just a cap that can be inserted to close it off. So let's have a look at all that. Right, back in 3D Builder, I have isolated this piece, which worked out nicely. However, and I have brought in the cylinder with which we reduce or subtract to make a hole. So it's less messy without the other stuff. So I yeah, this is 47.7. I'm thinking let's make it 47.9. So 47.9 there and there, and let's color it some other, paint it with some other color, I should say. So let's make it greenish, maybe, and or is it yellowish? Something in between. And now let's try to place it in such a way that it seems pretty good. We'll see then if it leaves a skid mark, sort of 9.66, let's say 9.68, and then subtract. Is it greenish all the way around? Yeah, looks like it. So it's a little bit bigger now, the hole here, which should help to be able to get the capsules in and out. and then we can print another one. But before we do that, how about designing a cap for the hole? Because yeah, I wonder what design we should use. But if we make this, yeah, it's hard to. I want like a thinking of printability, because if I want like a plug with a hat, the hat will have an overhang, and I will need supports or something. But if I want to avoid supports for now, we'll take first of all, let's take a measurement. Oh, um, let's roll it, and then yeah, 7.8 it should fit in there. It's the right one. So let's say that we cut or split. Hang on a moment. Keep top, for instance. So we can have a plug that's not too deep. Um, like that maybe. And then we measure it 4.88 millimeters. Okay, maybe we can split a little longer, just like that. Or, yeah, something. This. Right. So the idea is then to have like a hat. Insert cone. Uh, and 7.8. However, we'll make it slightly larger, so the base could be 9. Oh, no, sorry, that's the wrong. Uh, 9 by 9. And then we can cut it off. So let's see here. Let's bring that a bit closer. Um, split and then keep bottom. then have it something like this, for instance, split, and yeah, if I now roll it over 180 degrees and place this on top, then I think that this overhang shouldn't be an issue. How high is this one now? 0.69 millimeters. No, sorry, 1.38. Maybe it's a bit shallow, I don't know. But we could try, and then we'll have this on top of it. However, it's not centered. This looks kind of centered. Yeah, so that could be our plug, hopefully. So if I just group these, I will move them. Can I merge? So it doesn't want to, or? Alright, I'll fix the issue. But let's get that one printed, and I will separate this into its own little thing. Maybe we could print this first, actually. It's kind of small, and yeah. And it's done. So, yeah, it's a lot smaller than I thought, but it hasn't yet cooled down, maybe, but right. Let's have a closer look. Okay. So, we have a huge brim here. I used the same profile, so that we created at the beginning of this first print, like that. Yeah, so it's very cute. Can I make it focus on it? I don't know. So, yeah, it's a very... I could have made a larger hat, maybe, for it. But basically this would go into the top. And then, well, I won't click it into place right now because, yeah, but I want to get it out. But it fits, and can be removed. It didn't have to even be this long, and I could have made a larger cap. But yeah, this will serve its purpose once it's Great. Now just let's just print the second of these out and see if the clearance is better from start. Perfect. Right. So let's follow standard procedure. Okay, it looks fine. I'm very interested to see if this fits inside of this. It does. So, okay, it rotates both, but that's okay. You just hold it and so you can have one in each direction if you want to, and ooh, actually let's do the test and see if I only have one capsule of hot chocolate, but let's see if this hole is bigger. Yeah, it was a bit easier. Yeah, I could have made it even larger, like instead of a 47.9 it could have been 48.1 in diameter, but yeah, now I didn't have to use this tool to carve out anything like I did on the first floor to get the same. Yeah, it feels the same now, so that's good. It holds it in place, and yes, there is a space here if you place a second one, if you have them in a row. And then you can, of course, you can place them at an angle from each other, or one to the back and one to the front, and you just keep printing these modules and adding them up on top, as many as you want. So since there are only 2 capsules per floor, and yeah, like this one, it works, but well, with my printer the size restrictions make it hard to fit everything in while having the margins that are needed for the rim here to fit from both capsules. But I suppose it's possible to make a large one. If you have a larger printer, it's possible, of course, to just create one of these and a little bit longer and with the appropriate margins. So yeah, but I'm actually really happy. Let's see here how. So there's a little bit of a gap here, but that's okay. I suppose you could just cut more of the tip off if it's because there's some residue left. Um, at the very tip when it finishes printing there, but I cut off a little bit more, so it's a little flat here now. Let's see. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's like a millimeter gap or something, but you can cut off more. It's stable anyway, so and this these legs are good. They keep you sturdier. So right, let's test this one. Yeah, that's the easiest. But I kept that the same as on the first attempt, so it hasn't changed. So yeah, and I think there is enough margin here now. I will have to get some more Dolce Gusto capsules or pods or but yeah, the spacing is good. There is place for a second capsule here, I think. So, but I'll have to fetch and try, and yeah, maybe I want to have a third floor, so I have to print a third one. That would be kind of nice to have 3, because we only have 2, so I only have 4 in total. So maybe having 6 or so would be nice. And then of course, yeah, the cap at some point. Wait a minute, doesn't it fit anymore? How come? It fits here, but it doesn't fit here. Or is it because I did something like this? Maybe on the previous one. Yeah, I think so. But it's a bit tighter here, seems actually. So maybe this cap can be a little bit thinner then. So can adjust that. Because let's try to push this into that. Yeah, that works as well, but the cap was a bit hard, so we can make it a little bit thinner, decrease the diameter. Right. Great. Huge success. So I'm not gonna push it all the way in yet, because I want a third floor first, at least, and you can build it up as you want to. And yeah. All right, perfect. So let's make a third floor. And here is the end result. I must admit, it does look pretty nice to be something I made from scratch, that is. And Well, it's whether it's a beauty or not is up for discussion, of course. But in my eyes, it will always be my precious. Um, so no, but it's very functional, um, and solves sort of a problem, I suppose. Um, it prints without supports. Maybe a brim is a good thing for the capsule holder levels. But the base prints nicely without any modifications. And yeah, so I'm very happy with this. And if you have watched both these videos, I applaud you for committing to such suffering, I suppose. um, However, if you want to print or modify this model, then it will be up on printables.com, and you can find all the links in the description below. So go check it out. Both this model and well, my printables profile, where you find other 3D models that I have made or remixed, maybe. Um, but this one was from scratch, and it was great fun. Um, so I see that these videos, the first part wasn't very popular. I think as I speak, there were like 3 views or something on it. So yeah, but I thought that I mean maybe someone will find it interesting and see what you can do if you're a newbie and starting out in 3D Builder, for instance. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed, and do let me know if you do print the models. So I will be very glad to see your printouts if you do. So or do a remix. Um, anyway, that's it for this one. So look forward to upcoming videos on the channel. We have a lot of interesting things to do and discover. Anyway, have a nice day. Bye bye.